Hey gang, this is Anthony and I'd like to welcome you to the new Maestro Music Centers. I know I've been off making videos for a little over a month now, maybe a little more, I don't even know, the time has gone by so fast. I never saw the summer, but we're in our gorgeous new store with so much more room and it's just, I'm so happy, it's lovely. But I'm back, so here's your video lesson. And I'm going to talk today, this is basically going to be done for Lowrey customers, although many of you have the same problems, the same issues, and you can use them. Our new instruments, oddly, when you power them up today to some people, not to me, but to some people, don't come up as organs anymore. And they wonder why. And, our answer is that, since we started teaching at Maestro Music Centers, and I've been involved in music my whole life, the customer base has changed, and the sounds that people are looking for has changed, and what they want to play has changed. Years ago, you go to a mall, and stores like mine, you'd find maybe 3 of them in a mall. Today, there's none of us in the mall. It's all the same store in every mall you go to. We do still exist, however. We're just not there, which I think is good. But more people were exposed to what we had, so it was a bigger market. And people realized that that sound that they heard on a song, this is where it came from. You'd find people playing in restaurants and stuff. Today people come in, they know piano, they want to play piano. So all of our new Lowrey instruments power up on the lower keyboards, or if it's a one keyboard Lowrey, with a piano sound. I'm on the Fanfare, the EY300 today. And this is a little more sophisticated. It loads up with piano and string, okay? If you don't want the strings, in the lower left, you turn off the ensemble button. You have just the piano. Now this is a fantastic model. This has a great new feature called Pedal Magic, and one of the things it does, it allows me to convert the bass pedals, which many people do not use. Some do, but many don't. I can make it the sustain pedal for the piano. I just press the button until I see glide sustain, and now I can, just like I would on the piano, step on that and use it, You have a real piano, and it's touch sensitive. Okay? So our EZ10 and our EZ4 model and anything that's coming, our new Inspire that'll be coming in a little while, will have the same features, our Liberty, that they're kind of all working this way. Now, if you don't have Pedal Magic that does this feature, or if you do have Pedal Magic but it doesn't have glide sustain, on the left side of the expression pedal, which is the volume pedal, looks like the gas pedal on the car, there's a little switch, a little kind of like a lever, and if you press against it, you'll get piano sustain. It's not as intuitive to use maybe as the pedal is. This is much, if you're a piano player, this feels natural to do that. But it works great, On a really small model, you'd be shocked how good you can make that sound, with that effect. And piano sound is stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful piano. But, people come into this and they go, well, what happened? On the top keyboard of these, there's strings, so orchestra sound. Now, I don't care, what you want to call the instruments. If you want to call this an organ, I'm okay with that. If you want to call it what Lowrey calls them virtual orchestras, it is a more accurate representation. Roland calls their product Atelier. At its essence, it is an orchestra. You are literally today controlling an orchestra. I learned to play in the 70s. You either played piano or you played organ. There were no keyboards. And organ, if you picked a piano sound on the organ, you only wished it sounded like the piano. It was a trombone with sustain, literally. And, you use your imagination a lot on a lot of those sounds. So this is what we dreamed we could have in the 1970s. Today, you play the sound, it's legitimate. Now that, slightly affects how you use the sounds, because you would layer a lot of different sounds together years ago, and it didn't matter how you do it. Today, depending on how you want to play, the sounds are going to be a little bit different. So do know that, they're much better to play on. I go back to an old product and I think, oh God, I can't believe I played on this. But you can have amazing results today. So where did the organ go, is what people ask me. Well, it's still here. It's in a lot of places. Number one, this product has a bank. We've had banks on classic Lowrey product for a while. Bank A. If I press Bank A, immediately I get, it says in the window, Sweet Lowrey. I get what was the power-up sound. Now on the Lowrey EZ10 model, which is right below this, if you hit Song Setup and scroll backwards, you'll see all these organ presets that you can use that are similar to what I'm going to show you here, so you can go in and get the same sound. There it is with the vibratrem and everything. You can slow it down. Or turn it off completely, then it's going to be kind of like church. And it even put sound on my split point, so I can use that. If I now press the setup buttons, there are 8 on this model. Number 1 is a full Lowrey, a little richer, adds an 8-foot pitch. Here was the last sound. There's the new one. Hear that extra sound? Button 2, Lowrey with a string sound, uses a string tab. That's what we call the ensembles. Okay? 3 is a theater. Light, soft. With an air sound on the bottom. 4, novelty. Adds a reed on top and a canora on the bottom. 6 is called grandiose. 6, 7, and 8 are going to do classical sound. What about the jazz organ? They took that off, didn't they? No, it's just somewhere else. So if I turn off button A, the bank, now I use the setup buttons by themselves. These are the general setups. We used to call them general presets. And if I go to button 3, I get a rich Lowrey sound. That adds a 2-foot pitch, and I think a fraction of 5 1/3 pitch. Okay? 4. Turn off my pedal magic because I lost my pedal voice. There's my rich Lowrey. Okay. If I go to button 6, there's my jazz organ. Again, I could do the same thing with the spinning of them. Let me put it on slow for a minute and I'll speed it up. And then if I go into the categories, there are 4 categories that affect the same buttons: symphonic, jazz and swing, country, and modern. Let's go to jazz and swing. Well, on this same button 6, on the bottom, I get a jazz organ. On the top, I have George Shearing. It says block PVG, piano vibe and guitar. If I am in button 2, another one on the bottom with a jazz guitar on top. So the sounds are they're still sort of here, they're just in different places. You can still play them and still enjoy them. They're there. And of course you can go through some of the other sounds. The organs are listed under the button that says more. Which used to be called Genius before. I could put it on the bottom, I could put it on the top, I could split it, however I want to do it. Those of you that like organ, don't fret, it's still here, okay? It's still on the instruments, they still sound just as good as ever. Actually, I think the organ sounds even better now. It's a little cleaner and richer than before. Plus, you have a music rack that'll hold like 32 books across it, so big, it covers the whole organ. You can stack them up and have all your songs out and ready. And of course, this is if you have to you want more, you want to make your own organ sounds and combine stuff, this has internal memories. You can actually make different sets of banks and internally store them inside the instrument. So if you happen to love jazz organs, you can put them all in. There's lots of options for the jazz organ sound, you know. So if you go through and you want to look and see, well, what exactly, you know, can I play with? You can scroll through, and I'll give you just an example of what's in here. There is, and I'm going to turn off everything but the more button. So there's a percussion, 2 2/3, which you can add to one of the tabs. Percussion 4-foot. Okay, there's a lot of classical stuff. Let me get through that. 60s combo. B. Has a nice bite to it. Okay. So you can, you know, make combinations of these things up and mix them with the tab voices. If I actually hit the flute button on the under the organ section, I've got jazz 1, 2, 3, and then it has open, full, pipe, 8 and 4-foot, 8 and 2-foot, 8, 4 and 2-foot, sweet, rich, mellow. I love the mellow. That's a 16 and 8-foot combination. Exactly what it says it should be is what it does. Solo, just a 16, just an 8, just a 4. Okay, so there are combinations of sound available for you to use, and you put on, turn off the Vibratrem and have a little bit of fun with that. And like I said, mix and save, and you have yourself your own combinations of sound. So I hope that helps you enjoy the new instruments. And if you're on a Roland, you know, you have same idea. Preset jazz, you know, preset jazz organ, preset full organ, lower organ, and there you have an others button, like the more button. You can pull up additional sounds and layer them in. So, you know, if you don't get quite the sound you want, play around. We'll come in for a help session. We'll show you how to do it. All right? Thanks. Have a great week.